Hey everybody, I'm Pastor Rob.
Give it up what was your name?
Or Piro, as some call me, and you've tuned into a channel that not only answers the questions people have about current cultural trends and how they align with God's Word, that'd be the Bible.
I have so many questions.
But also a channel that takes on the most troubling and sometimes confusing biblical topics and questions for Christians. But today's question is for all of culture because it's huge right now. What's up with virtue signaling? Before we get started, as always, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell. You guys have been doing a great job at this. We are getting the word out, but we don't want you to miss a single episode of Ask Piro. So what is virtue signaling? Well, the modern day version of smoke signaling your worth. And I say smoke signaling because smoke doesn't last, and it's not meant to last, just a little bit. Better that it gets briefly logged, albeit in a 24-hour dissipating Snapchat kind of way, and then wipes the slate clean for an observational reset that allows the signaler to carry on with their life without actually standing for anything and without changing a single thing, other than perhaps your bios on a few social media outlets. But I digress. You probably want to know the official definition. So here it is for all of you that will fact check me. Virtue signaling, the action or practice of publicly expressing opinions or sentiments intended to demonstrate one's good character or the moral correctness of one's position on a particular issue. Let me add to that official definition whether or not you really believe it, adhere to it, or even remotely understand it.
I have no idea.
No idea? See, the problem of people publicly signaling their virtue does go back pretty far, way back. Jesus addressed it, I think, the most bluntly in Matthew 6:1-4. Jesus referred to hypocrites who love to give their tithes and offerings before the bigger the crowd, the better, in verse 2.
Did you get that on film?
The admonition that Jesus gives in verse 3 is, don't even let your left hand know what your right hand, this is film, so maybe it looks like this instead, know what the other hand is doing. Or don't put out a, hey, going live with a charitable gesture on Facebook in 10 minutes. Be sure and tune in to see how caring I am. In other words, keep your charitable activities on the down low.
I didn't see you, you didn't see me.
Virtue signaling should be off limits for the true Christ follower. Even so, sometimes people will see what you're doing is virtuous. So we don't have to go all Jason Bourne and be secretive about everything.
That's Jason Bourne.
Especially our good works. Just live life. However, the motivation should never be to get TikTok famous, whatever that is. See,
You can get famous really fast on TikTok.
God looks at the heart, not the outward man, 1 Samuel 16:7. And as one commentator writes, the secrecy of our charity is one good evidence of its sincerity. That was William Burkitt in his commentary on the New Testament. So the Bible doesn't really leave room for any virtue signaling. We're told in places like 1 Thessalonians 4:11 to study to be more quiet and to do good to all people. That's Galatians 6:10. And we aren't told to talk about our good works in a bragging way. Just do them.
Just do it.
Proverbs, a book that we're studying as a church right now, in chapter 27, verse 2 says, let someone else praise you, not your own mouth, an outsider and not your own lips. I like that. Virtue signaling and fishing for compliments are roundabout ways of praising yourself.
It's my birthday gift to me.
Today it seems of paramount importance. Have you noticed this? For many people to just appear to be on the right side of things.
It appears.
And I say appear because it seldom matters whether you actually are on the right side. You just wouldn't want to be caught dead on the wrong side. Enter virtue signaling. People describe it in various ways. They'll never say, hey, I'm about to virtue signal in 3, 2, 1. They'll say things like, you know, if they're talking to me, hey, Pastor, I'll be careful about that tweet. I just don't know if the optics are what you really want.
Emphasize how bad the optics are.
How about this? I want to be seen on the right side of history on this.
On the right side of history? Huh?
Never mind that history has often been on the wrong side of God. And then there's this one. Hey, how do I say this? Listen, I didn't see you, for example, participate in Blackout Tuesday on Instagram. Expect your Instagram to tank, you racist. Or silence is violence. You know what else is violence? Violence. And you know what is a whole lot more valuable than virtue signaling? Virtue. Piro, what about texts like Matthew 5:16, where Jesus said, "Let your light shine before others that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven," that sounds like Jesus is practically demanding virtue signaling.
Did you see me?
Am I right? No, you're wrong. This is not an encouragement to boast or announce our good works, as we just saw in another chapter in Matthew, the same sermon actually. Jesus warns against such showiness. You can look at it again in Matthew 6. But the Lord's words here in Matthew 5:16 are telling us that in living a faithful life, others can't help but notice.
I couldn't help but notice.
When your virtue's really there and your heart is really good. And here's what'll happen when it's real and true. The glory will go where it belongs, to God, not us. See, it's our fallen human nature that creates a tendency to practice virtue signaling. We naturally want others to think well of us.
And I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now, you like me.
And it's so easy on social media to broadcast our own good deeds or signal our lofty values, but we've been called to be faithful and virtuous before God, not man. They don't need to see our good works and admire us.
I see what you did there.
Proverbs 26 says, "Most men will proclaim every one of his own goodness, or tell everybody of how good they are. But a faithful man, who can find?" Actually, people who don't virtue signal, they're few and far between.
Now this is rare right here. This is rare.
So when all's said and done, virtue signaling comes down to self-justification, an almost effortless way to show others that we are good and worthy people. I'm good because I care about the right protest group. You should see how I protest. Hey, I'm good because I care about climate issues. Yeah, but I'm good because I care about social justice. I'm even better because I care about the gender wage gap. I'm good because I care about the problem of racism. I'm good because I care about unborn babies. I'm good because I didn't vote for fill in the blank. It goes on and on and on. But listen, it's no accident that nearly all these issues have the word care in it. I did that on purpose. Why? Because signaling how you feel with words like care and love or even hate or anger don't actually take much effort or much actual doing. You just have to have a pulse. Just checking to see if I had one. You don't have to actually do anything. You just let the social media world know what your feelings are about said issue. Land on the right side, and by right side I mean the safest side for you to just be left alone, and you should be fine. Virtue signalers have some favorite verbs and favorite words too. Their favorite verbs are care and feel. And their favorite supporting cast words to those words are outrage, anger, boycott, cancel. We signal our virtue often at the expense of others. We want to make sure that others know that we aren't like those racists. I'm not like those alt-right wingers. Those terrorists, that's not me. Those are baby killers, but not me. Again, we don't actually want to do anything to help those causes or to get involved, but we want to make sure that it is known for the record that we are better than those other people. It's signaling to others that you belong to the correct group for the correct times, for such a time as this, which makes it actually identity politics, which is virtually without virtue. But you know what? That's another video for another day.